Thanks for joining us on the John Mendola Show. We were driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. Well, let's talk about PA Cage Fight number 19, and it's coming up really quickly, Saturday, September 20th at the Woodlands Inn and Resort. Joining us is Paul Matreselva. Paul, I know you're real excited about this event coming up. We got some guys we're going to talk to in a couple of moments, but first up, let's talk about the great night coming up.
Oh, John, it's awesome. You know, we're just 5 days out from this right now. It came so quick, and, you know, we have weigh-ins for the pros on Friday night, the amateurs weigh-in Saturday morning, and before you know it, the lights are out, we're starting this card. As I was saying on your show Saturday morning, we have 14 fights, 5 professional fights, 9 amateur fights. It's just a card loaded from top to bottom. We have fights in 7 different weight classes, both male and female fights, you know, tons of local talent, tons of nationwide talent. There's people flying in, leaving as of Tuesday. Wednesday, they're coming in. So it's really going to be a great night. Saturday night at the Woodlands, 7 o'clock is the first out.
Well, one of those guys we want to talk about is Chris Hettes. Tell us about him, and then we'll talk to Chris, who's hanging on the phone with us as well.
Chris Hettes, he's really gifted. You know, he's an awesome wrestler. He's got the scariest right hook I've ever seen in my life. He's doing jiu-jitsu. He made his amateur fighting debut on the card about 4 months ago, and he made very short work of his opponent. He took him down to the ground with a couple crazy shots and hit him with the rear naked choke, and, you know, the kid went to sleep. You know, that's the fun of PA Cage Fight. You never know how a fight's going to end. It could be a close decision. It could be a knockout. It could be a submission. But, you know, Chris Hettes, he's going places. This kid's young and talented. He trains his heart out, and, you know, he's ready to rock when it comes to mixed martial arts.
Well, let's talk with Chris Hettes right now. Chris, let's talk a little bit about your background. Obviously, your brother, a UFC fighter. How about for you, wrestling background? Tell us about what you're doing with jiu-jitsu and training-wise.
Yeah, I had a short wrestling background, and I think that paid off incredibly, transferring to MMA. It helps you more comfortable in the clinch. It pretty much helps everything. But background-wise, I've been training jiu-jitsu for a while. Obviously, I'm training with my brother, judo, training with Sean Diggs for kickboxing. So background-wise, all of that's been coming into play recently, but it's been a long time coming for the training I've been putting in.
Chris, how about the style that you have? Would you say it's similar to what your brother is, or does everybody kind of develop their own when they come to this thing where you really got to survive in there?
Yeah, you know, it is very similar to my brother's in the sense that we look for the same thing. You know, we look for the takedown, we look for the submission, we look to get hit as little as possible, if that's possible at all. And but I'm a little shorter, a little stockier, so I use a couple more different body locks, a couple different variations of stuff, but it all basically is the same game plan.
How about when you get in there, fear-wise? I mean, you pretty much have to take fear and throw it out and say, no matter what happens in here happens, because your life's on the line, so to speak.
Yeah, you know, when you get in there, it all happens so fast. It's you pretty much have to rely that your training was good, that your camp went well, that you know what you're doing, and luckily, you know, the saying is steel sharpens steel. And the guys I train with, I realize that for how much they beat up on me, you know, nobody I face in the cage will be able to inflict that much damage. So that also helps going into it.
Talking with Chris Hettes here on the John Mendola Show. We are driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. Chris, talk about your opponent coming up. What do you know about him? And, obviously, I'm sure you'll watch some tape or see some different things and try to figure out his style.
Yeah, you know, he's a very experienced fighter, very tough guy. I don't know a ton about him. I know he has a winning record. He's been in the cage. This will be his 6th or 7th time. I have nothing bad to say about him. You know, seems like a nice guy, but, you know, when you step in there, that all goes out the window.
Chris, how about the family support you're getting? Obviously, your brother's seen some love here in northeastern Pennsylvania. Everybody's pulling for him in UFC. Talk about your experience and what you have behind you as far as friends and family.
The friends and family thing is crucial for me. Luckily, I was able to have undying support last time. All of my friends showed up. They came in from school. They came home from wherever they were. A couple articles said that I had the most support at the last PA Cage Fight, which was that meant a lot. And family, you know, most families when they hear their son's going to be fighting in a cage, they get a little worried. But luckily, my mom, God bless her, she's been through it with Jimmy. He kind of, got her used to it at least. And I think the last time that the last fight went so well, at least helped.
Well, Chris, we wish you well this Saturday at the Woodlands for PA Cage Fight 19, 7 o'clock start.
All right, thanks, Sean.
All right, Paul, we have another guy we're going to talk about. His name is Jim Jordan, and, boy, he was a heck of an athlete at Wyoming Valley West, played some collegiate football as well. Tell us about Jim Jordan.
Jim Jordan is, without a doubt, one of the most athletic kids, young adults in this whole area. I mean, his cardio is ridiculous. He is so strong. He has dedicated every attempt over the last 5 years to training MMA and becoming the best that he can possibly become. As I was saying on your show Saturday, his first 2 fights, he finished them by submissions in the first round. Then he had some decision victories, and like I said, I announced these too, but when I'm announcing them, I think he's got more breath in him than I do. It just doesn't faze him. I think Jim could go in a 30-round fight and be fine by the end of it. So I've got complete confidence that he's going to get his second professional debut or his second professional victory Saturday night, and be a 2-0 pro after a 7-0 amateur career. And before you know it, there's scouts calling from all over the country trying to get this kid on his card. So Jim Jordan is that close right now. This is just a monstrous opportunity for him.
Well, let's welcome in Jim Jordan, part of the co-main event at the Woodlands for Cage Fight 19. That is Saturday, 7 o'clock. Jim, welcome into the show, and I'm sure you're beyond excited as this weekend approaches quickly.
Yeah, John, and thanks for having me, man. I've been a big fan of yours since way back in the day when I was playing at Valley West with your high school sports show and all that stuff we talked about earlier. So thanks for having me. And yeah, I mean, as far as the excitement goes, I mean, Paul mentioned earlier that it got here so fast, but I don't know. As for me, it didn't get here that fast, man. It feels like it's been centuries since I got in the cage, and all that build up and all that time I've been putting in, it feels like it's still forever lasting, and I still have a week to go, and to me that's a long time to wait. But the excitement just keeps building, and all I do is use that and channel it once it comes time, and use that to my advantage as far as the mental aspect of the fight goes.
Jim, thinking about you as an animal on the football field, now we close everything in. We get a little bit more of a contained atmosphere. You throw a cage around it. You're probably extra wild in there.
Yeah, it's funny you should mention that the animal instinct, that once you lock yourself in that cage with you and another grown man, you're pretty much giving each other permission to act like animals and, act like the, wild animals do when they're out in their environment. So, once that cage locks and the bell sounds, everything is free game, and it's kind of surreal, to be honest with you. You go back and you talk about my football days, that was cake, whether it was 2,000 or even, 15, 20,000 when you're hitting the NCAA playoffs. It's nothing like this. You're 50 yards away from the fans in a football game. You have a helmet and a face mask on, not to mention there's 21 other guys on the field with you. So the only time you're really the focal point is, when that ball's in your hand. So when you're under the lights and locked in that cage, it's all eyes on you. And for somebody like me, I take that as an opportunity to showcase. I don't let the nerves kick in. Once the bell sounds, all the nerves go out the window, and you just let your training and like we said, that animal instinct takes over. It's fight or flight, and there's no flying out of there. So it's always go, and that's the part that I love about it.
Jim Jordan, 7-1 as an amateur. He's 1-0 as a professional. You're going to be taking on a young man named Nolan McCray from Wisconsin. Tell us about what you know about Nolan and what it's going to be like to be in there with him.
Well, I did some research. I took my time, and I'm trying to do this right. I'm not trying to rush into anything, but the general saying goes that styles make fights, and I consider myself more of a ground guy. I like to ground and pound, and he's tall and lanky, and he likes to use his reach to his advantage. I know he was 5-1 as an amateur MMA fighter and 4-1 as a kickboxer. So, I look for him to utilize his reach and probably some kicks to keep him away as far as he can. But just in watching his films, I had the opportunity to watch 4 or 5 of his tapes, and I just feel real confident about my ability to be able to get in tight and make it a close quarters fight. I like to use my range, which with the height disadvantage that I'm going to face, my range is going to be getting inside as tight as I can, and I'm going to look to go to the ground just like I always do. I'm not afraid to box with somebody, but I believe that my best opportunity in this matchup is going to be to get to the ground and make us both the same size.
Well, it's going to be a great opportunity for you, and I'm sure all your friends and family are going to be there, Jim, in support on Saturday night at the Woodlands for PA Cage Fight 19. We wish you well. Looking forward to seeing you.
Hey, John, thanks so much. I appreciate the well wishes, and I look forward to see you again, too. I've been a fan for a long time, so thanks again for having me on your show.
Jim Jordan ready to go. Chris Hettes, I know you're ready to go. And, of course, Paul Matreselva. People want to get tickets. They're still available between now and Saturday night.
Yeah, John, we don't have a ton of tickets left, but there are tickets available. A lot of general admission seats left, which are general admission tickets left, which are $30. It's without a doubt the best $30 you'll ever spend. I'm anticipating this show is going to go for at least 3.5 to 4 hours. Our sponsor, Coors Light, they're going to have a lot of ice cold Coors Light there for you to enjoy. I know the Woodlands is doing a special right now too, where they're doing a ticket and room package for $179. So if you're coming from out of town and you don't want to drive home after it, for $179 you're getting 2 tickets, breakfast, dinner, and a room. So you really can't beat that. This card is stacked from top to bottom. I'm looking over the amateur fight list now. It's all going to start off with Aaron Kennedy, who wrestled at Bloomsburg University, versus William Tiger. Apparently William Tiger is just a monster. He trains at a Tri-State MMA, owned by Harry Brofsky. Harry's got 2 other fighters on the card. He's got Francis Aiello. He's a 145-pound fighter fighting Matthew Dotson out of Virginia. Harry's also got a pro on the card. His pro is Anthony McGlynn. He's going to be fighting LaShawn Alcock in the featured pro fight. That's going to come right before the main event, and you don't want to blink in that fight. Either guy could knock out either guy at any second. So, it's just a great card. We've got 8 Northeast Jiu-Jitsu fighters on the card. We got 3 fighters coming up from Tech MMA in Christiansburg, Virginia. Another featured pro fight is Allison Haynes out of Christiansburg, Virginia, versus Rachel Sazoff at Hamilton, New Jersey. These 2 women are weighing in at 110 pounds. I think I was more than that when I was 7 years old. I can't imagine that. So, I think that's really going to be a crowd favorite, Allison Haynes versus Rachel Sazoff, professional women's fight, And if people are unsure of the difference between an amateur fight and a professional fight, there's not much difference. Main things are the amateurs are going to wear shin pads, and there's no punching on the ground. But by all means, to get your opponent to the ground, you can do whatever you have to do. And, they're going to be 3 2-minute rounds the first 9 fights. And then when we get to the pro fights, they're going to be 3 5-minute rounds. So just a ton of action. It's a ton of excitement. It's huge for our area. Mixed martial arts is clearly one of the fastest growing sports in the country. And just in the last couple of years, it really took off in our area. So I'm anticipating a packed house, John. We're going to see knockouts. There's going to be blood. There's going to be great fights. And everybody's just going to have a blast. It's going to be a good time.
Well, sounds like a great time. Looking forward to catching my first one. PA Cage Fight 19, Woodlands, in a resort Saturday, 7 o'clock start. We'll see you there. Paul Matreselva, Chris Hettes, and Jim Jordan. Best of luck, everybody, and thank you so much for your time, guys.
Hey, John, thanks for having us, buddy. We appreciate it.
All right, we'll see
John,
you.
thank you so much again. I appreciate it.
You got it. We'll see you guys Saturday night. PA Cage Fight 19 on the John Mendola Show. We are driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers.